Yeah, and let us know. Wait a minute. Let us know, family, if you can hear us after you receive this demonstration here. Mashallah. Let us know that you can receive and that you hear the sound if you hear us here in StreamYard. So yeah. Okay, praise be to Allah, brother Tyrese Bay. Gratitude. So yeah, when we speak of, this third brotherhood test dealing with faith, this is the whole drawing. When you walk by faith and walk in faith and you standing on faith, however you want to look at it, at the end of the day, this has to do with not, you looking to honor a man. We know that when we look into the face of man, we look into the face of Allah, but we are distinguishing that concept from where one is actually man worshiping. So we ain't doing that. How many of us have had a chance to really observe ourselves? And I always say it all the time, to find out what our purpose is. And when you look at it, you realize that your purpose is coming forth to express your God-given talent. We talk about our holy prophet, the man, the myth, and the legend. We know who the man is. We know he's a thinker. We know what the myth is. We know who we know who the legend is. Our holy prophet went through a journey. And the journey simultaneously, as he went through the journey physically, psychologically, he was going through the journey, the matrimonial hard, so to speak. Man, I'm trying to take my time with this because sometimes when we speed the ethers up, some of our family think the vibration is too high for them or the wisdom is all too great. So I really want our family to think. And once we're able to think, once we start to think, and we can accomplish everything that we will. And that's a fact. So we don't allow priests and some of garbs to be our thinkers. Because we are free thinkers. We're free thinking people. We have freedom on our mind, freedom in our action to deliver. Faith. What did they tell us about faith in the Piscean records? Well, they told you it was about believing in Jesus, didn't they? You believe and keep your faith in the blood of Jesus is what they told you, right? And our people pretty much, they love that because they didn't have to be accountable for their ways, acts, and deeds. They could cast the burden on anybody else outside of the self, and then say, well, the devil made me do it. Unfortunately. But the great God Allah didn't ask the question, or the question one put in our dictionary anyway, as, who made you do it? It was who made you. Allah. Who is Allah, the Father of the universe? Can we see him? No. Where's the nearest place we can meet him? In the heart. You got to have some faith to know who Allah is. You got to have some faith to know who Allah is, to demonstrate accordingly. Man, faith, powerful demonstration. Remember, you have belief, faith, and fruition, faith, hope, and love. And we have it where faith itself becomes a realm of fruition. Okay? So, again, the question, why seek for mystic light within this antiquated law that we have? Go forth and walk with me, and they're going to honor you. I don't know about nobody else, but from what I was taught, the public is unstable and forever ungrateful. So the honor of men can never be equivalent to the honor of Allah. And the honor of Allah comes as a result of the work that we put in the cause of the truth. You know, it has to do with how truthful we are to ourselves, how truthful we are to humanity, how truthful we are to our condition, what it is that we have come through. They shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. That also strengthens the faith too, right? So what is it that we have to offer to our people after, coming through the lights of the antiquated den? What is it? Wow. Well, all I can say is we got to put in the work. We got to dig deep, and elevate our consciousness into the realms of divinity. And once we're able to do that, how can we go wrong? Well, the most ancient wisdom that we have is the wisdom that wills love. And if we are moving in that particular vibration, then no one can take us out of that thought pattern. Nobody can come whisper to us and pull us off to the side and, come with the naught thought. We already got the scimitar justice on the manifest, and we wear that demonstration well. Only someone that has already been broken in their will, only somebody that has the will and being strong and being a Muslim can truly demonstrate that which is of the higher self, and remain firm or fixated within the truth. So we have to become those who are encouraging our people to stay in the higher self. Just like you had them priests in summer garbs, we have to come in as white-clad soldiers and elevate. So yeah, Moorish kid, we just want to encourage our family to be the best that you can be. Move out on your faith. Well, we already know how that is. We ain't talking about be blind with it now. Even though they try to tell you to move on blind faith in certain instances, we're saying move out on faith and have the mindset of knowing, that you're going to be able to accomplish what you will. Like our brother Marcus, Most High God has said. Up, you mighty race of people, and accomplish what you will. What are you willing to accomplish? We got a lot of work to do, boys, in such a little time space. Because this fleeting life is but a winking of an eye. And so that's why we want to just talk to our Moorish kin. Hopefully that we can spark up the neurons within those who would have it within themselves to drill and, unfolding and coming into who it is that they were destined to be. One thing about life moves through cycles in relation to dealing with seasons, in relation to dealing with many different aspects as they unfold. But see, our goal is to be those who come forth in the milestone of the journey of the race and basically carry out the task that we were born to carry out. Let's see. I know we look at the chapters and we talk about how Yehoshua, he passes this test and so forth and so on. And we always try to encourage our family to know that we too are going through these particular tests. And these are the buffetings actually that make us strong. These are the drawings that allow us to know how much of the higher self we actually are. And so the scrolls that are being given by the Hierophant after the completion of the round says everything as it relates to dealing with Yehoshua, and his character, so to speak. We look at honor and accolades as the end all be all. And a lot of our people don't want to do the work unless they get some type of worldly recognition. They want to be seen, known to do whatever it is they do. And they really don't have the passion and the love to do what they do from the level of caring, the level of just exercising that which is in the heart. They are always looking for something in return. But real love has no bargain attached to it. Real love is what it is. It's on the manifest. Most of our people would know what that was. Like the chairman would say, if they would have come up to you and kiss you in the mouth. So we, again, have to move on a level of faith, elevate our consciousness to the realm of fruition, and continue to do the good work, even when we see that most of the world is going to start raving mad. So what I'm going to do something different this time. And I'm going to go ahead and really open up the flow because like our chairman tell us, it don't take long to tell the truth. You know, what more is there that need to be said and what more is there that need to be known? We don't have to do everything in a grandiose way. Sometimes the most simplistic aspect is where one get the drawing. So at this time, we're going to go on here and open up the floor, you know, to see what our family have to say about this brotherhood test, you know, and how it relates to them. What it is that we have come out of. Islam. So star 6 your phone, Moors. We opening up early tonight. Nobody ain't got no excuse saying that they can't say nothing. Islamism. Oh, we ain't got nobody want to come in and it's this early? Look like I'm going to have to start drafting early then, huh? Early draft. What my National Grand Secretary to say? Islam. All right, Sister Dendra, we already know. Come on, sister.
Islam. That Dendra near the debate. First, let me rise. Say your praises to our great God Allah. I give honors to our holy prophet, Noble Ali. I give honors to Act One. I give honors to all our government officials. And I give honors to you, National Sister Grand Sheik, for this wonderful class tonight. I tell you, I just enjoy reading and going over the different tests that Yehoshua had to go through. And it makes me think about, when we was in the, when we was in the Palestine area, they had me thinking like Yehoshua, they didn't call him Yehoshua, they say Jesus. So they presented him as if though he really didn't have no negative thoughts or nothing like that. That's why they was told us it was something outside of him because he was so holy. He couldn't be thinking about. Now this is the way they gave it to us. Now this ain't right, but this is the way they gave it to us. So when I was in the Palestine area, I was thinking Yehoshua. I was thinking Jesus. What they told us, he was so holy because he was the Son of God, and he couldn't have no negative thoughts. So that's how they tricked us with that Satan being outside, and you always looking outside yourself for the devil, not realizing he's on the inside. And most things I learned that when I come into this government. But I tell you, I just enjoy learning, knowing the truth now, knowing that Yehoshua was just like me. I mean, he had a higher self and a lower self, but that wasn't the way I was brought up, and so he could be tempted just like we can be tempted. He has to make choices and make the right, wise, and sound decisions concerning his life, just like we had to do. And that was a big mind shift for me. But anyway, get back to your subject. Why seek for mystic light within these antiquated dens? Go forth and walk with men, and they will honor you. And I tell you, you are so right, Dr. Shaheed, when they talk about these antiquated dens, meaning that I looked that word up to make sure I be what I know, and it means like old-fashioned, outdated. And like you were saying, people will come up to you and try to, I used to say, pump your head up, make your head bigger than what it is, and make you think you all of that, you all that in a slice of bread, and you really, you have to stay humble before the great God Allah, and that was even when I was in the Palestine area, my prayer was always that Allah would keep me humble at His holy feet, and because I never wanted to get the big head. And the thing about me, I never really wanted to be out there in the front, no way. I didn't like being in the spotlight. I didn't like being on the out there where everybody can see me and stuff. That didn't phase me. So when we were able to do things, and when we were placed out there in the spotlight, it wasn't no big deal for me. I just come back, be just as humble it's just as humble as I was before I went out there, and I like to stay behind the scenes. And you do have people that will try to tell you, "Well, you know this, you know that, you ought to go over here and start your own government. You know more than what they do. You got a college degree. You got this and you got that." But see, there ain't nothing but that. No one's that. And I learned early in the Pisces we learned early that we always say promotion don't come from the east or the west. It don't come from Maine. Promotion comes from the great God of Allah. And when He promotes you, you will be promoted, and can't nothing be able to come against you. Yeah, you might have tests and trials, but you'll be just like Yehoshua. You will triumph over each and every one of them, because they won't phase you, because Allah will be the one to lift you up, and He will be the one that's leading, and you will have the victory just like He said. But when man try to pump you up, or you try to listen to the naysayers out there telling you more than what you are, and then you get out there, and then the next thing you know, you have faith. Everything around you is falling apart. That's because you didn't follow the prophet's teaching. That's because you didn't keep him out front. That's because you didn't keep the great God alive front. You didn't let him lead you to those different positions and things of that nature. You wanted to get them on your own, and then end up you end up being somewhere where you end up being and created a situation that you can't govern. So gratitude, God, man, I tell you, this is a powerful class. Gratitude for letting me share. I know I'm over skin is really nice. Islam.
Well, Islamism without the schism. All right, Sister Energy.
Praise the Lord for you. This is divine minister Jesus today. I rise and give all praises to our Father God, Allah, and honor to His prophet Noble Joali, our prophet Noble Joali. I give honor to Marshall Miracle Cousin, all the officials and kin. I give honor to you, Sister Grand Chief, for this class on tonight. And I give honor to the lesson that you is bringing us from chapter 29. You host past the third brotherhood test faith. And, like you said, and our 9, why seek for this July within the adequate then, go forth and walk with men, and they will honor you. Like the sister was saying just a while ago, people want to be honored by others. They do not want to wait on Allah to lead and guide them. And that's where that old Lord self always come in. The Bible said the Lord self is rich in promises, but poor in blessings and peace, and over pleasure, joy, and satisfied gain. And a lot of people do not have the faith to wait and listen to the voice of the great God Allah Himself. and follow what he tells them. You know, like Sister Diane Carter was saying, when we was in the Pisces, it went, back in the Bible, was saying, but without faith, it is impossible to please him. Who? Allah God. So you got to have faith in what you do and wait on Allah. Because faith is a complete trust and confidence in someone or something. So without faith, it is you cannot please Allah. And you see, in that trust is strong belief in Allah God or in the doctrine of a religion based on spiritual apprehension rather than proof. See? And back in the old Pisces era, it said faith comes by hearing and hearing by the word of Allah God. It said God, but I said Allah. It said faith is often associated with hope, even when facing uncertainty or hardship. This can be a hope for a better future or believe in the possibility of progress or trusting in the power of something greater than oneself. I trust in our prophet. I have faith and believe in our Father God, Allah. Because without faith, you cannot please him. And so we know that faith is just like a substance. It's like a little tiny seed, like a mustard seed. And without faith, we can't get anywhere. So those that don't have faith in the government and in our prophet and Allah first. They're not going to say, because they're going to let the Lord self fool them out there, oh, you can do better. See, that Lord self is nothing but Lucifer, devil, dragon, and beast. And they get out there and they fall. See, because they don't have the faith to stand and wait on Allah in the prophet. Because, it takes faith to please Allah. It takes faith, to stand. Now, faith without works is dead. And so we have to work. And, we're working for a crown of glory that won't fade away. We're working for a better life and peaceful rest to all men, And I just praise the Lord and give him the glory and honor and the praise and him for sending us a great holy prophet to teach us, and he is teaching us everything that we can ever know if we just have the faith and stand still and wait on our Father Allah and our prophet and follow our prophet and keep the faith. And faith in our moisture miracle government and don't give up. Because that Lord said, oh, it'll fool you. It sure will. So we have to have faith in what we're doing. Faith in our Father God always. Because faith without works is dead. So we have to have that faith. Praise the Lord. And gratitude, grand man, for this grand class. And gratitude for allowing me to bring my message. Peace and love. Islam, yes. Hello, that's the Grand State. Sister Grand State?
Yep, we here. Can you hear me? Okay,
Hey,
gratitude.
now,
It goes in. If you hear my thing fluctuating more, it'll do that sometime. So, Islam. All right, the floor is still open.
it's no, this is my little thing. No, I just after Dr. Dunn, anything from the day had finished, I never did hear you.
Yeah, that's why I say it fluctuate every now and then. If it go out, you know it'll do that. But it's all good, brother. You got the floor if you know anybody that want to come in.
Yeah, I can go. Absolutely.
Yes, sir. You chopping up a little bit. I don't know if that's on my end. You got an echo. You got an echo, brother Edwards, babe.
Me, I thought it was you.
No, it's somebody else had their line open is what it is while you was talking.
Okay, I didn't even look at it. I
Yeah,
didn't even look at that.
yeah, go ahead, brother. You got it. They closed their line. You good.
Okay, gratitude.
Yes,
Well,
sir.
if they were trying to get in, I would have let them. Okay, anyway. Yeah, but gratitude for calling on the National Sister Band. Very powerful class. Very powerful message. And I give honors to those that get their message before me. Very, very powerful. You know, it's all about sincerity. Like, you know, most talk about that Yehoshua was doing it. Like it's something way over there. No, I see that this is right here, wherever we are, wherever I am. That's where the tests are, you know, so they're just showing us, the prophet, showing what it takes, you know. You know what I mean? I won't be a prophet, you know what I mean, but we can, you know, be, you know, live in Texas as a prophet, so to speak, you know, but he already came, the last prophet, in these days and times, you know. So, but, like I said, you know, what the prophets went through, all of the wise men, you know what I mean? They had to say, go to solitude, you know, have to meditate, you know what I mean? Have to take those souls from the dead, you know, and this is where I'm coming from, you know, I can't speak for someone else, you know, and this is how I see it, that, I mean, this is where I feel where I'm at now, you know what I mean? Just dealing with the stuff. You know, because it ain't no joke. It ain't something, not a walk in the park or anything like that. This is work. You know, regardless to what is happening around us. And we got plenty of distractions around us. You know what I mean? But it's how we see ourselves in all of this. You know, and I say, praise Allah for sending us the prophets. Because had prophet not came and had not gone through those tests, we would not know that we was in a test. You know, we thought we just here going along, get along. No, but everything in this life is a test, the way I see it. Because it tries for your attention. You know what I mean? Like you say, status. What is the status of the man? His present concern. You know, so if your present concern is, you know, you're not the great God, not, you know, seeking his approval, you know, you missed the mark, you missed the point. You know, so this is where I'm at, just striving to stay righteous. You know what I mean? Because we just say, forget about it and go along and do like everybody else. No. And these lessons show us exactly what's happening. There will be those, and I've seen this since I've been in the North American government. You know what I mean? Those that, you know, come as priests. You know what I mean? You know, as the fine ministers, even, you know. But we have to be strong. Well, we have to first, we get to know the self. We have to take these lessons. For me, if these lessons wasn't a part of my life, I would miss. I would be thinking it's something else. It was somebody else outside. Yeah, I would be looking at these lessons like there was someone outside of me. Instead of my own lower self. Yeah. Like you said, and like you spoke in your demonstrations that people want to be seen. I remember I was back in, school. We have meetings, classes, and, they would always ask for people to give, and we had these particular morals that, then they would stand us up in front of it wasn't called a class, it was, there's a lot of kids, stand in front of the congregation or the rest of the morals, when you build something. And you just be recognized, which is cool. But a lot of morals, you can call them morals, the brothers will want to give so that they can be recognized. There ain't nothing wrong with that. But sometimes that's all it is, the recognition, But to give to not be, but, no. Because it's not for the outside. It's all for the inside of one. You know what I mean? I just praise the Lord for being alive and give him praises for sending us a prophet to bring us these lessons so that we can fight those foes, so that I can, stand up for righteousness, and this enables me to see a lot of things, and look at my people say differently than what I used to. When you first come in, you want to save the world, so to speak. But it ain't like that. We strive. You got to strive just to be on this, on this journey, so to speak. Because any of us can be taken off at any moment if we don't keep our eye on that light. You know what I mean? Keep the prophet out front. Attend these meetings. And these meetings, I'm saying often, they keep us refreshed. Keep us, focused. Because you can get caught up in the outside world, and that's all you see. Because it's about everyone you meet or know is into that. So you call it the rat race. Everybody wanted to try to get ahead. I guess there's nothing wrong with that. But you got to look at the big picture. No matter how hard we work, someone else always gets ahead. Not just man. But yeah, you got to understand that what we've gone through, find ourselves still in that same boat. Trying to get ahead. But once we get to know Allah, know that He is within us, we don't say word about that. That's not our focus is on being true to the great God, which is being true to ourselves, because we know that the great God is within us. So this is what it's all about. We're in the test, yeah. This is the one of faith, having the faith. Because you can lose that faith at any moment if you're not careful. So, gotta be careful, gotta be diligent, gotta be alert. They gotta pay attention to everything. How I see it. But it's a very powerful class. Very powerful class. And I just say gratitude, God, man, for allowing me to speak. Islam and peace.
And Islam and peace. We give honors to you as well, Brother Marvin. That was Bay. But we also know that it don't matter how diligent we are, we're going to still be tested. Even the prophets in Yehoshua, You know, it don't matter how steadfast we are, we gonna still be tested. Islam. Well, all right. Islam, brothers.
Where, bro? Islam. Dr. Larry Daniels, baby. South Carolina Constitution. So I'm rising, praise and glory to Allah, the most merciful. And I give high honors to his holy and divine prophet, El Hajj, Yahweh, Abdul Ali, the last prophet in these days of time. And I give honors to Act 1 of our divine constitution. And I honor you, brother, and all my boys here on mine. Peace and blessings, peace and love. Reflect. But brother, you know, I was did this work, but I heard the question was like, why seek you the celestial light within these dens? And then what was that second part?
It's the portion when we go into Ayat 9 in our new chapter, brother. It says, why seek for a mystic light within these antiquated dens? Go forth and walk with men, and they will honor you. That's what the priest in Psalm of God was saying.
It's wrong. You know, it's a great class, you know, because you know, that's what it is. That's why we're learning and getting these lessons so we can step out, because our prophet, you know, our prophet said that, you know, he passed you know, our prophet said he's gonna be on the soul plane where nothing can hide. In other words, he's there with telepathy is, you know, the two that didn't fall. Our prophet is there, and he know where the Moors are mentally. So I feel that, you know, because he has get past it all, these lessons and these divine lessons onto us, we right here on this conference call. He's more, our more can. And like we understand that there's more of them still in church that's coming. But it's up to us to teach them when they get in. So the prophet gave this to us, you know, our prophet says he passed these physical duties on to us on the physical plane. And he went to the soul plane where he knows which more, because he's guiding us, you know, with love, because the prophet speaks through the Moors now. The Moors that are lining their hearts and minds up with these lessons, with the truth. And let me see. Okay. So the prophet said he's looking for some strong and upright movement that's ready for duty. So he takes each one of us, you know, and he because he's on the soul plane, you know, to live. Because you see, on the soul plane, we don't use ears, we don't use eyes, we don't use skin, and you know that thing that you touch to feel, and all these little lower senses. You know, our prophet, you know, he's giving the more some wisdom, you know, to understand where he at, to where we are, and we still communicate. You know, that's how when we look at our chairman, the way he wrote that book, you know, the book of fire, you know, that's where our prophet is. He's in our mind. He's guiding us to great works. That's why, you know, I understand why I see these, you know, in these, you know, and then it's time for the Moors to get out and draw them in. You know, be the message that we bring. You know, and most of all, you know, it's being, you know, even if you can't
like the prophet say, our people are hard-headed and stiff-necked. A lot of them won't do nothing except at the point of a sword. So, if we just raise ourselves up, that's a blessing right there. Each one of us know where we come from. And even though, we walk like the light in this world right here, we're not sticking our chest out or doing anything. But see, the prophet is there. And the prophet light is shining through each more that has lined his mind up and is sincere and got that gratitude on his tongue for whatever position he's in. I just love it. I just love being a part of this holy and divine move. And knowing where our prophet stand to us, knowing where he at and where he said he would be. He's right there in each Moore's mind on his own plane. So it's just wonderful, brother. Just to listen to the classes and getting that understanding and every day, waiting on the class to come begin because that it's going to take us to a whole nother level, because the prophet is right there. And it's all about love. I don't want to say this 7 minutes, but right on. Peace and blessings, great class.
Islam and gratitude, brother. Praise be to Allah. Well, all right. The floor is still open, Moors. Islam, brother Justice.
Islam. Praise Allah. Honor to our holy prophet, Noble Drawley, and honor to the National Assistant Grand Chief, Dr. Shahid, some of the great class tonight. Honor to all of those who assist you on the class, and honor to the entire Act 1. As always, special honor to our National Grand Chief and our National Grand Chamber, Marshal Miracle and Power of the Faith Law, and enforce law with the assistance of the Prophet and the Grand Vital, Marshal Miracle. Honor to you, National Assistant Grand Chief, Dr. Shahid, because the Assistant Grand Chief is to assist the Grand Chief in all affairs as he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And he is known before the citizen of Marshal Miracle. Well, the prophet did say, I brought you everything, taste to save a nation, and take it to save yourself. He said, if I can get you to think, just save yourself. With the chapter 29, Yehoshua has the third brotherhood test faith. And that question is, why seek for mystery life within these equated scenes? Go forth with men, and they will honor you. Thing that hit me at first is, who made you? Allah, the great God of the universe. And why is that so important to always recall and remember? Because it's true. Allah, the great God of the universe, made you, and he's the one that set the holy prophet over through all these. And listening to you tonight in the class and you're right. Some want power and strength and want to be a leader or something. But they don't understand that there's tools that you have to have to want this leadership or what per se what they want to call power, because this is what we have. Great God, the universe, give it all to us. The prophet let us know that we were God. And if we being God, then we have that power. But there's a few tools, because even when Yehoshua had the third brotherhood test, that was this was dealing with itself. And this is where so many of us, ourselves, had refused to acknowledge that we had to accept. And there have been many times that we had brothers and sisters to go in their deepest thoughts, and we know thoughts the cause of it all. But they will go additional to additional thoughts with no faith. giving their portion, I'm down those giving them spoken or speak after me. You got to preserve it. You got to lock them in. Because like you said, you're going to be tested. You're going to be tested. And even when you are blessed to hold a position in this government, you still have to, proclaim and practice these holy divine laws. And as you do, you still got to preserve, you got to lock them in. Because, you're going to be tested. Oh, yes, you're going to be tested. And see, when you allow weakness come in, there's things that's going to be, because them hidden things going to be there. We talk about them lies. And see, and your conscience is just going to lock in and cause all kinds of confusion because you're going to be the unbelief, and that's the unbelievers. You're going to make you out of one of the unbelievers and have that selfish behavior where you're not going to be meditating, but you're going to be talking. You're just going to be talking. Sound good, look good, feel good, might have a little taste good to it. And may sound good to the brothers and sisters, but it will begin to show you who you truly are. There is no fake there. You have been tested time after time, but you yet to do what you're supposed to do. And our job is, and when we're being tested, we got to remember who made us. And if Allah, the great God of the universe, made you, then there is no conflict. There is no problem with Act 1. There is no problem with other officials, council general, or any other official in this government, with any divine minister. Because these are the things that was been there, because those are your tests, is what you're being tested, but you're refusing to obey. Because anything that come upon you, this is what the prophet tells us in our Act 5. I won't be long with Act 5 to no organization or motion burn to cause any confusion or overthrow the laws of the Constitution or state government, but obey hereby. Organization could be mean one or two. It's just simple and plain. Organization will take care of a group or individual. This what happens to you when you allow these thoughts, these organization thoughts, the organization behavior, these ideas that you come up in your head, where that you feel that I can do better in this area. I cannot do the chairman here. But the sheep, they're a little slow now. So I can get this position and I can hold them long. But you're speaking these things from your lower self, which cause all this confusion within yourself. And when you do open your mouth to one of these officials in this government, this had happened in the time, it may happen again. You're not going to sound like anyone that make any sense. So how is you going to claim anything else when the brotherhood test come upon you? You have no faith. You have no love. You have no trust. You have no belief. Because that's why, look at what it says. I'm going to get on out here. Love, truth, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all citizens of Moorish America, and no citizens are put in danger, accused, stalk their brothers, sisters, or in occasion all that they harm their brothers, sisters, because Allah is love. Well, if you believe that Allah made you and Allah wanted to make you, and you believe that Allah is love, then why are you causing all of these problems and all this confusion? Oh, because you have no faith. You never took time to be still and meditate and allow this to come within you to fix things, to sort things out within yourself. But you're still talking and you're still sounding good, but you have done no faithful work. And as the prophet said, justice will catch you. And I've seen this many times, and I've worked with some of the best officials in this government, and I have pleaded with them. But me being me, these are the words that I hear. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about, bro. You know, you got to grow a little bit more before you talk to me like that. How's I'm talking to you? I'm telling you what the law says. I'm telling you, you got to be still. You can't find anything when you stir it up, making a lot of noise to finding good. At least you think you're finding good. And I end by saying this again. The Holy Prophet Noble Deuteronomy said, if I can just get you to thinking, if I can just get you to listen, if I can just get you to strengthen your faith, get you to go within and strengthen your faith so that you can see what the problem is. All of this conflict and confusion and problem comes from within, and we have tools to fix it. That's why it's important to get back to your moral American plan. That's why it's important to remember who made you. That's why it's important to remember that you are a citizen of a moral American government. This is a theocratic government. You are spirit in this flesh and bone. All our man is one, and in his place you find is within the heart. Who made you? Allah, the great God of the universe. And he set the holy prophet over Deuteronomy for your earthly salvation. And you're going to be tested. But if you don't have any faith, and you don't truly believe that Allah made you, then you're going to exit just like every other Moorish America national have in the Moorish, out of this government have. Islam, honor to you for the class, National System Grand Chief. So it's been a very great class, a very, very eye-opening class. Islam and peace.
And Islam to you as well, brother. Gratitude for the measure. Praise be to Allah. Well, all right. Floor is still open, Mo. Islam. Islam.
Brother Michael Young down there, calling out of Connecticut territory. First and foremost, I want to give praise and love to give praise to Father God Allah. I want to give much honor to the last prophet of these days and time, named El-Hashari Abdul Ali, that is known as Noble Abdul Ali, the last prophet of these days and time. I want to give honor to all the Moorish American officials of the Moorish American government and all the ministers that's online on this phone conference class and those that cannot make it to their busy work-life schedule. Excuse the noise in the background. Strong reading, a very powerful, strong reading. I'm a type of Moor that like to. I'm definitely Moor. I think a lot, and I'm also practicing listening. I want to share my experience on this reading because I know, like I want to say this, there's no shame in my game. I ain't sell no poison in 21 years. I didn't live that lifestyle in 21 years. I didn't do no drugs in 21 years. The only time I say 265-923 is when I'm doing a life-saving, like when I'm life-saving program known as Narcotic Anonymous or this life-saving class here. But there's no class like this. There's nothing like this because if I jump in with both feet in, that's what I'm doing. I don't need no other class. Moorish American government speaks for itself. If you try to cut corners, you'll hurt yourself. Let me keep it on the eye. I will hurt myself if I cut corners. So I'm not trying to cut no corners at all. I did that. That's the reason why I got that 265-923. Those that don't know what that number is, being incarcerated for 2 years. And those that do, they do know. Well, anyways, I remember I got home after doing 2 years, and this is just for me. And I went to jail in a late age in life. I wasn't never in the system. I had the best thing going. I had both parents in my life, mother and father. They both were the protector, provider, as well as a comforter. I lost my father. My father knew the son. I lost the father after I saw him put his hands on my mother. So, he was the best man in my whole wide world. He was my hero. After I saw him do that, love went out the window, dropped like the World Trade Center for my dad. But since I got older, I learned to love my father. Because that's my father's son. That's my spiritual, that's Allah, that's his son. And my father, that's my spiritual brother, but he's my biological father. So I learned how to love him. Well, anyway, when I got out the system, I had to rebuild myself back up, because the system got the best of me, even though I did 2 years, even though I did programs and stuff like that. But when you hit the pavement, I walked to the front doors at my father's house. I was expecting to get buzzed in. I said, oh, shoot, they got a door now. I can open the screen door while I'm waiting for it to get buzzed in. It was just like that, So what happened, what I had to do was I had to go to this rec center. I volunteered my time to build my self-esteem back up. I just didn't jump in the hood and start hitting the street at the pavement. I had to build myself up because when you're in the system, they don't talk about nothing. Everybody lying. You do programs, but once you go into the dorm, everybody playing cards, dominoes, you exercise, and you really ain't working on it. I'm not going to say for everybody. I did my best to work on my mental. But when you hit the concrete, things change drastically, for me. So when I went to I got home, I volunteered at this recreation center because I wanted to know how to communicate, because I wasn't doing too much communicating in there, because I had to keep my eyes. I had to make sure, for example, when I was in there, when I think, it shows on my face. I'm a thinker, and it shows like I'm mad at the world, but I'm in deep, deep, deep thought. I'm in deep thought. And this inmate came to me and said, man, why you look like you're so mad at the world? I said, what? I said, man, I ain't mad at nobody. I'm just in deep thought. He said, man, listen, you keep on walking around looking like that, somebody's going to test you. So what happened was I tried to keep that same face. So I have a little mirror. I said, let me see what he's talking about. So I tried to keep that same face. So I got to my cube, and I looked at my face. I said, whoa, I better check myself before somebody. So anyway, like I said, I'm a big thinker. Well, anyway, when I got home, and I had to rebuild myself, communicate, learn how to walk right, talk right, build confidence, self-esteem. Because, I went to jail in my late 30s. Not 20s, 40s, but I did my time. Well, anyway, I was building myself up. I went to this recreation center. I was meeting people, dealing with the kids, The guy gave me the okay to spend some time there. So this is a hit. But when I spent some time with the children, also in the recreation center was around some projects. So what I did, I knocked on every door to make sure the parent knew that I was in their child present at the recreation, get a name with a face. Hi, my name is Michael. I'm at the volunteer, such stuff. And I was going knocking on every door, let the parents know who I was. But there was a supervisor just got there who just knew, just like I was new. She didn't do no field work like I was doing field work. So some of the people that was working up there, they were saying this to me. And I was there for months. Months turned to the point that they gave me a key to the building, the security code, and I had a little leeway. And one guy said, man, Mike, shoot, all she do is sit behind the desk and eat chicken all day. You should get a paid position. You should have her job. So remind you, at first I was in my spirit, I was liking what I do because it was building me and building my self-worth, self-esteem. It was doing me a justice, not a disservice. It was doing me a service. So after I heard that, I fell right into the okie doke. Yeah, man, you're right. Something to think about. Yada, 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 yada. So after that one day, the next day I thought about it. The third day messed my whole world up. Because I was just fine how it was. So I was getting paid. They gave me keys to the building. It was $1 million recreation center. I just getting out of the system. Gave me keys to the building. Gave me the key. To the security code. Gave me the insurance policy. Every time I was the sports coordinator. I had the one to hire the referees. I had responsibility while I was up there volunteering. And then there was this program that came up, No Children Left Behind. They got a grant for that. They had me being a supervisor for that. So all that being said, that being tested and I fell into that, which I understood. I appreciate them seeing my work, but I took it too far to the left. 3 days it messed up my spirit. So I had to pray and meditate, get back centered, because it wasn't all about the pay. When I started, it was all about building my self-worth, self-esteem, because I was lost mentally. So I had to rebuild myself and start at a third grade level, 5 years old, talk to them, hello, good morning. So talking to a teenagers, then adults, then start talking to the adults. Get in what I fit in and get fit in where I got in. When it comes down doing meetings, doing programs, then I was able to do so. But like I said, that was a test right there. It did something to my spirit. I was twisting and turning in bed. I couldn't sleep because I wasn't there to get paid. I wasn't looking for no accolades at first. At all, period. Like my answer speaks for itself. They speak. People watch you. People was watching me, and they gave me the key. Gave me, yo, Michael, you can have 9 hours, nighttime recreation center, keep the kids off the street. You could do this, you could do that. So I was getting paid, regardless. But with that being said, you know, and that brought me back. So, you know, I'm a true believer when Allah lead on, victory is assured, regardless what I faces in life. So with that being said, it's strong reading. This is, you know, faith. And I try to do my best. I don't play around with this study here. I'm in it for the long haul because I forget where I've been. I've been through the crack house, the dope house, the corners, pushing that poison to the point that I was doing that poison. Now, once I found out where I came from, and I got to remember that when I was doing the fellowship NA, they say that, don't forget where you came from. And I used to cringe when they said that. Even then, when my first time there, they used to say that, don't forget where you came from. I'm like, I ain't come from no crack house. I came from God. That's where I come from. But I started, here I go again, getting where I fit in. So I got along. To get along, I got along. To get along, I went along. But that bothered me. So now I say to myself, and out loud, and when I do H&I, I go to facilities. Yo, my man, you ain't came from no crack house. That's where you been. Where you came from the great God Allah. That's what I say to this day. And I meditate on that, and I praise on it, and I meditate on it, and I pray on it, and I pray on it, and I meditate on it, and I be about his business the best I can. And I can't speak for nobody else, but I wish everybody well in this life journey called being a Moorish American, because it's beautiful. It's a beautiful. I've been healed in all areas, a lot of areas. You know, I'm in the H&R move, health and recovering. And by doing this here, I'm getting 2 treats in one. And a lot of more treats comes after that. So with that, peace and love, gratitude, and Islam. And thank you for calling on me. And you can shut it down now. Peace and love.
And gratitude, brother, for the measure. Praise be to Allah. Islamism without the schism. Allah's lead on and victory is sure. Well, all right. Yeah, powerful measure coming from our brother. Well, are there any other Moors? We open up the floor so that our family can exercise their fire. All right now. Islam? I know y'all ain't tired yet.
Islam.
Islam got us some queen.
Praise the Lord. Islam. Sister Nefertiti, Cambridge, Virginia. First I rise, giving all praises to Allah, Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. I give a high honor to his most illustrious prophet, Prophet Nabi Ali, giving honor to the divine constitution of Moorish America, giving honor to Act 1, giving honor to all citizens of Moorish America, giving honor to all muftis of Moorish America, and giving a special honor to all divine ministers of Moorish America. I want to give honor to the teacher. I want to give honor to the class. I want to give honor to all those who spoke before me.
and all those who will speak after me. Give it honor where honor is due. This has been a very powerful, powerful class. I give praises to Allah for each and every one of you who gave up your portion of the understanding. Wrong. In the chapter on faith, ayat 9. And after all, wait a minute. Is it ayat 9, Mo?
Oh yeah, Islamism, goddess and queen.
Okay. And after all, these weird initiations may be a myth. They may be a myth. And your messiahship, but illusion of the hour.
Oh, Islam, goddess. I think
is that the one?
Yeah, I think it may just be off because some of our Qurans was changed.
So okay.
Ayat off. So it's the one that actually says we seek for the mystic light within these antiquated dens.
Oh, that was ayat. It was that. It says why seek the mystic light within?
Yes, ma'am.
These antiquated dens, go forth and walk with men, and they will honor you. Is that the one?
Yes, ma'am.
Islam. Praise Allah. Praise Allah. Islam. I want to give honor to all those who spoke before me and all those who will speak after me. This has been a very powerful, powerful class because you have to take the time to study self. You have to study self 24/7, and even when you're resting, you got to be studying you. And I give praises to Allah and honor to the Prophet for bringing us these lessons so that we can have an understanding of how our lower self works. First it was, and when we were looking at justice, it was that flickering lamp, the priest with the flickering lamp, and this time it's dealing with just that vanity, and you want everybody to follow you, and I think I can do better than this one over here, and yeah, I can speak better than that one over there, and you forget all about yourself. And who made you? Allah, Father of the universe. Can we see him? No. Nearest place we can meet him is in the heart. So we got to make sure that we're on point at all times. Because with each blessing, there is still another test. You can be on that level of faith. Faith is what man knows is true. And you say, well, I got this. And that's when the test comes. Just like the brother that spoke before me, I want to give him much honor for his stand, like the prophet, on the law. And this is where we have to do. We got to stand on that law. We have to have to be humble. The prophet told us that we have to demonstrate that being humble at all times. You don't get all puffed up in your own conceit. You have to study you. Be on that branch. There's many branches on that tree of lower self. You got little teeny branches coming out. And you think you conquered that. I got that. Yeah. Then another test comes. Then another test comes. But you ain't doing nothing walking up that 12-step ladder. Being one with Allah. You may be down there at the bottom level. And you think, oh, I got that. Then some other test will come. It don't have to be outside of you. It can be within you, your lower self. You got to study you at all times and making sure that you're giving up the lesson that the prophet brought to us to give to our people. That's one thing the prophet said, do. He said, told the Moors to give it to them. He didn't say stand around, wait and see what they're going to do with it, what you give them. He said, your job is to give it to them. You give my Moors the truth. And that's our job. In our divine constitution, it lets us know, Act 6, we are what? We are teaching our people their nationality and divine creed. Now, you know our people don't know nothing about that word nationality. All you got to do is say, look it up. So you'll be what you know. And everybody has a nationality in the world, but Negro, Black, and colored people don't. So you go look it up. That's one way you can teach another. You know, let them find out what it is. You know, and we can, you know, it's just a blessing. This is a whole beautiful demonstration, and you got to look. You don't just stop because of your lower self. You got to battle with that. Sometimes you got to raffle it down. You know, no, not today. You know, and we're just blessed to have these lessons. Count your blessings. You know, you talking about Yehoshua, like the rest of the Moors were speaking about Yehoshua back in the day when they were demonstrating in the churches. They ain't tell you, they made you think that Yehoshua came here and he was this mighty God. He didn't have to struggle. You know? And our prophet came and put everything in its true perspective. He lets you know about these texts. He give it to you. He wrote it in his Quran. You know? And we are blessed to have these lessons, to study the self. And nobody else tell us about studying the self. They let us know about studying everybody else. You know, what they doing over there, what she doing over here. You know, taking you off. You know, we working our way back to the great God. When we leave here, we still got work to do on the soul plane. You know? So, this right here, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. All you have to do is what the prophet tells you to do. Be yourself. That's what the prophet say do. Be yourself. When you being yourself, you can teach your people. You don't have to sit down there and be on one of them stands and have a blowhorn and you know, you ain't got to do that. All you got to do is be you. Moorish American mind. They can see you when you come, because there's a certain Isa about you. You know, you give praises to Allah and honor to the prophet, because this is a mighty, mighty journey. It's a beautiful journey when you can unfold and be who you are and not what somebody say you are. But they don't know. They ain't got a clue. Got all these. This is a pure and clean nation of people. They haven't seen it. They don't know what it is. And all you got to do is be it. I give praises to Allah and honor to the prophet. And praise Allah for each and every one of you. Peace and love.
And praise be to Allah, and peace and love to you as well, goddess and queen. I love the measure as we talk about the prophet working from the soul plane. That's exactly what's going on. You know, he said the other enemy can't hide. You know, so them priests and some of God are, you know, those thoughts, not thoughts, so to speak, they are laid bare. Islamism without the schism. Well, all right, man. Is there any other more who would like to come forth? Islam, grand man, you got the flow.
Gratitude. Yes. This is Divine Minister Michael Mordain in North Carolina territory. Once again, arrived. We just say to the God, I'm the trial prophet, and I'm the trial citizen, our officials, and our government, and I'm to this class. Praise Allah for everything that's more rich and all those that hold us away. And I'm to you, God, man, because this is very, very enlightening. Yes, well, you know, it says here, why seek for mystic light within these antiquated lands? Wow. You know, I think the Moors have spoke very well on this. You know, but this particular question here, it kind of reminds me of, you know, Islamism. That's our religion. Is that a new? Or is that an old time religion? That's our old time religion. You know, and we know that the Quran scripture lets us know that, you know, Allah bears witness to that, you know, what he has sent unto us. He has sent from his own knowledge. And, you know, the angels bear witness. But enough is Allah for witness. Those who reject faith and keep off men from the way of Allah have verily strayed far, far away from the path. And those who reject faith do wrong. Allah will not forgive them nor guide them to any way, except the way of hell, to dwell therein forever. And this is Allah, and this to Allah is easy. And we know that hell is a state of mind, and we know that if we fall for the knowledge of man, you know, we in trouble. It says, go forth and walk with men, and they will honor you, right? So we know that man is thinking mixed with falsehood and truth. And what has been revealed to us in these antiquated things in our religion is that, you know, our God has given us and restored to us the knowledge of who we are. Like the guy said, we got to be ourselves. We got to acknowledge who made us. We got to acknowledge the great God lives there. Because you are dealing with the infinite wisdom of Allah. We're dealing with the knowledge of the gods, not just man. You understand? Because that's law. Praise Allah. And we know that the Quran teaches us that it says, every kind of apostle has come to you in truth from Allah. Believe in him. It is best for you. But if you reject faith
To Allah belongs all things in the heavens and on earth, and Allah is all knowing, all wise. So we have infinite wisdom to take us to the highest height after reaching the lowest depths. We have been given this infinite knowledge and wisdom from the great God, our Father, our prophet, Yehoshua, and he lets us know where we find that in that old time religion, our religion, Islamism, the world's first religious creed for the redemption and salvation of mankind on earth, is that within itself is truly a blessing for us to be here. Islam and peace. Gratitude for the class, God, man. We love you. Islam.
Islam and peace for the measure. Gratitude for the measure, brother. Peace and love. But all right. We got a few more minutes before we go to our officials. Is there any other more who would like to exercise their fire? Islam?
Islam.
Islam, brother.
Gratitude, grand class, sister national, grand chic. I don't got that much time, love. This is Sean Washington M.O. Tuck Rob L. from the Michigan territories. I rise and give all praise to the great God Allah. I give all honors to my prophet, Noble Ali. I give all honors to this theocratic government, the 12 departments. I give all honors to Marcus Garvey, the theocratic Morris government flag. I give all honors to all my Morris kin on this class tonight. Give all honors. I give all honors to the Book of Fire, 101s, 102s, the Hadiths, the Holy Quran, the Book of Ali. Oh, that's a grand class. I've been listening. We always talk about with that don't honor man. People out here trying to pull you. People trying to distract you. From this government right here. This the real government on this land in these Americas. And we got to be careful out here because people say that I've been listening. You can do that job. You got your degree and all that. Pull you somewhere else, and then really it don't matter. Because we got we got all the degrees in this government. We got everything we need. Why we keep going outside ourselves? Like you were saying, we keep cutting corners. We going somewhere else. And a lot of people it was in this government. They gone now. They gave up, man. And we gotta put our lives, in front of us. He want to lead this government. And it's a lot of confusion out here. You got all different governments. When President Bay, I know we already know President Bay was the founder of all this. And people cutting corners. They create their own republic government. Conflict, all this stuff. And really all this. It's all in us. I'm the consulate. We the consulate, the Michigan territory. This is my consulate, Texas territories. What I Morris can with territories and, Baltimore's, you got the Caribbeans, Virgin Islands, and our people they don't want to, they don't want to put faith in this government. It's always an excuse. Then they always say they got to do this and that. And like yesterday, everybody out there, I'm looking like, why would we telling y'all some real good stuff to help us, to free us, get ourselves out of this condition here. Why would y'all keep celebrating these Roman holidays? And the food is poison, and that's coming from man too. That's coming from, the European Rome. Rome is pushing all this stuff on our people. And, we do all that, but why we can't come in and do the work for this government? We got a lot of work to do. God was saying that earlier
And, they getting ready for the 4th of July. That's man, that's honoring man ways, I'm gonna stay on my government, and I ain't going nowhere. You can't tell me to go somewhere else or, do this. You can do, you great at it. No, I'm great in this government right here. This is my home. No, gratitude, peace and love, Islam.
Gratitude, peace and love, and Islam, brother. Praise be Allah for your staying power. Islam. All right, we got room for one more that would like to come forth and exercise their fire. And we go into the officials. Going once, going twice. You know you're indeed thrice blessed. So at this time, we're going to call forth our beloved sister Alcetta Moonell. Islam, are you there, sister? Assistant Grand National Secretary of State. Okay. Well, let us call forth our National Grand Mufti, Dr. Khonshu Mark Herubay. Islam, you there, Sheikh?
Islam.
Peace and love.
Gratitude, Grand Man, for calling us forth. We rise first and foremost and give our thanksgiving, adoration, worship, and praise to our Father God, Allah, the great God of the universe, the most beneficent and the most wise, and we give the highest honors that we can give to his prophet. Our prophet, the last prophet of these days and in these times, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the savior of humanity. We give honors to his forerunner, Marcus Mosiah Garvey, and we give honors to his government, our government, the Moorish American government, the government in which we live. We give honors to the officials of this said government, our divine ministers, swift angels, mufti, royal council, secretaries. Give honors to our citizens, the Moorish Americans. We give honors to our flag and our divine constitution and bylaws, our Holy Quran, our Grand National Seal, our Grand National Emblem, our Book of Fire, the Exhument of a Nation. We give honors to everything that is Moorish. We give a special high honor to National Assistant Grand Sheikh for bringing forth this grand Moorish perspective this evening. We give honor to all of our Moorish kin who have spoken before us and to our Moorish kin that will speak after us. We give honors to you, angels. We continue to give the honors where they're due and honoring all true and divine prophets. And we give honors to our ancestors as they have come before us leading the way, and we are them today without a doubt or contradiction, because no one has the power to change man from his descent nature. And praise Allah for that. And it's been a grand class. Might as well been Moors who have spoken, given that grand measures on his thought pattern. And, why do we, search for that mystic light? It's innate in us. It is something that we're going to do because man is thinker and man wants to know. And so the mystic light is going to draw one. Just like they say, like that moth to the flame is burned by the fire. The same reason why we touch the fire and it's hot, we see the flame and are subconsciously drawn to the demonstration because we know that the fire is a spirit to it, as it's told in chapter 1. When it says here now, and it says the spirit of the fire, the water, the earth, and the air. And so, since we are spirit, we are drawn
to the light things of our plane, those things that are connected to the spirit. And so when we look at the marvelous light or the mystic light, that mystic light is connecting us to the spirit. Why? Because we know wisdom speaks from out the highest plane, a spirit light. And that marvelous light, has to do with wisdom, has to do with unfolding into oneself. And so we're drawn to that demonstration. And there's ones out here who want to keep us from connecting and reconnecting those broken cords to our natural self. They want to keep us in the normal thought pattern of the society of the day, which is out of tune and out of harmony with the universe. But what's in us, what we are made of, is in tune and in harmony with the universe. And so it's going to always draw us to those similar notes, those similar chords that bind us to that beautiful frequency, that beautiful, peaceful demonstration of vibration. And so, as one said, there's one's always going to come and try to take you off the path or the way to connect oneself to one's natural self. Things that are important for one's growth. Even the parent knows, you can tell the child that the fire is hot, but you got to let them touch it. And you don't let them immerse themselves in it and hurt themselves. But every parent knows that you got to let them get their hand close enough so they can understand. When they at that age to understand that, hey, that ain't something I want to mess with. The spirit of this thing is something that is alive. And you got to have respect and reverence for everything that's living. And that is something that, we've gotten away from, or we've been pulled away from through these ones that come with their flickering lights, demonstrating the Masonic understanding, Masonic demonstration, and try to take one away from the true foundation stone, the rock on which we build ourselves, which is understanding. And understanding, of course, it can't come about until you have that mystic light, the light that shines on the matter at hand, so that you can examine it and learn about it. It's like, have you ever tried to read instructions in the dark? It's impossible. You got to turn that light on. But when you turn the light on, everything that you couldn't see in the dark comes clearly. And now you can read the instructions, and now you can operate whatever those instructions went to. And it's a whole lot easier to turn on the light to read the instructions than trying to squint, trying to, put the instructions close up to your face, try to read it's a whole lot harder trying to do that and guesstimate what is being said than it is to just turn the light on and be able to draw off that demonstration. And so, ones will come and try to keep you from doing that. You don't need no more light. You can read. You don't even need to read the instructions. Just put it together. No, because if I do it like that, I might not do it right. I might break something. I might spend more time trying to figure out something that was simple, that was explained plain and simply in the instructions, which would, to save me a bunch of headache and confusion trying to put this thing together. And so as we recognize that we are putting ourselves back together, the prophets with the prophet brought us these holy and divine instructions. It says it right in our Quran. These are holy and divine instructions. Instructions for what? To put together back what has been taken apart. Remember, they classified us as 3/5 of a person. They took some things away from us. They divided us up. But these instructions that we have is what helps us put ourselves back together. Is what helps us, put us in the form where we can operate according to the divine plan and divine creation. And that mystic light has to be shown on this, and so one cannot stray from the mystic light. One's got to go to it. You cannot, give up what is your birthright, trying to capture the world. What is it to gain? What is it for a man to gain the world and lose himself? It's nothing. That's one thing that I've been shown in this time of my life and things I'm going through is that, you could do all the influence in the world you want to, but when it comes down to it in the end, when everybody is living their own life, and they got their own problems to worry about, and they got their own things going on, you find yourself by yourself. And those who are around you are those select few in your circle who truly care about you, who truly know you and yourself, the self that sometimes we neglect, and that these ones come to try to help us remember that we need to spend more time loving the self. We need to spend more time developing ourselves because that's what is going to better ourselves. It's like the parent to the child. The children. I remember, the instructions or the advice given to us by the elders, and sometimes we, as a youth, we thought, they just trying to tell us what to do because they think they know better because they're elders, but or maybe because they think that they is perfect because they been here longer. But the truth of the matter is, what I've learned as an elder, when we try to instruct the children, is because we trying to tell them this is how dumb I was. So, this is how stupid I was at the time, and I'm trying to help you not to fall in the stupidity, not to be as dumb as I was when I was your age of making these mistakes. It don't have anything to do with trying to be better than you. It's trying to get you to understand that I was a fool. But you don't have to be the fool. If you can just listen and learn, and you can move from beyond my mistakes. That has to be instructed to the youth in a way that where one is not trying to present themselves as being super pious or immaculate, or the sense of they can do no wrong, but in the sense of like I was saying, that the youth understand that, hey, you can be smarter than me. I believe that you have intelligence, and that as the next generation, that you are supposed to be elevating and moving beyond the mistakes of the past. And it's only those who wants to keep you at a low level going to keep you from trying to reach that mystic light, trying to see the light of wisdom shine upon your actions so that you can make better decisions and not go through life tearing up stuff because you ain't got no light to read the instructions. And so, it's just been a grand class and a grand measure to draw off of this special ayat because for myself, like I said, I'm reflected in what's going on in my life in this time, and it's just wonderful to see the lessons of our prophet, how they continue in every situation of a Moor's life, of a Moorish American's life, how they unfold and how you can go into the lessons and read and draw off of it if you're truly sincere, what's going on with the self and how to put oneself back together with them holy and divine instructions. So gratitude for this class, National Sister Grand Sheikh, Shaheed, and gratitude to you, Moorish America, for being here with us, giving us your time, attention, respect. We love you. Islam and peace.
In gratitude for the measure, National Grand Mufti, we give honors to you for all that you do, all that you done, and all that you will continue to do, brother. Praise be to Allah for the measure and the treasure. Well, all right. Let us call forth our Grand National Secretary of State, Sister Hatshepsut Rakat and Tutankhamun Bey. Islam, you there, Goddess and Queen? Islam, if you speak in Grand National Secretary of the State, we can't hear you. Well, we most definitely know our Grand National Secretary of the State is always on the manifest, so she must be on a mission. So let us call forth then our Grand National Chairman, Dr. Akhenaten Pert M. Heru, Tutankhamun Bey. Islam, you there, Grand Man?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear with divine ears.
Woo! Man, we give praise to Allah and on to the last prophet of these days and time. Blessed Prophet Noble Dwali is the one that brought us his Moorish American National, everything that take to save a nation, and want to give much honor to these great blessings because, more than just an honor and a blessing to know you got your own divine constitution, your holy Quran, and all these sacred things. It's just wonderful because why? You can extend your family from these blessings. I mean, the first question in the question is who made you? Get it right the first time. So it's nothing. It's not a game. It's life everlasting. And when you look to see what kind of advice that you announce certain things, it's no problem because you're right on top of it. Why? Because you recognize the importance of knowing who made you. Why? Because now you are of the everlasting of the past and to the never-ending days to come because you are divinely prepared. Oh, praise Allah for it. It's a great journey, more. It reminds me so much when I first came into the consciousness of it. I was there a long while before I realized that, wait a minute, I didn't know this, I didn't know that. And consciousness came at the highest plane of spirit life. So it's a wonderful journey, more. Islam is without a schism. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. Islam, more. I love you.
And Islamism without the schism to you as well. Grand National Chairman Dr. Akhenaten Pert M. Heru, Tutankhamun Bey. Well, all right. Well, Man, after that grand blessing, let us call forth our national grand sheik, Dr. Serapis Amin Rael. Islam, you there, sheik?
Islam.
Islamism.
It's been a grand illustration. Where else could we be? Praise the Lord as we rise once again and give a lot of praise, high honors to his love talk and his industrious ways. We give honors to everything, everyone that has given their measures this evening and showed us the way. We know that it was made and they did a sacred duty by giving us the drawing. Praise the Lord for you and everything you do, continue doing. But this is the way our people come about it. That mud of life being broadcasted true and loud from our Moors in as they wake up out of their grave and they start transmitting their action of revelation, bringing one out of that cold hill of death and destruction. They give one high honors for cleaning themselves up. We all must do that. To give high honors for waking themselves up. We all must do that. Honor to our sister Grand Chief as he steady proceeds to lay gold, trust and love out there on the manifest, and to all other ministers that the prophet has ordained and bringing forth on the store. And to our chairman, just not forget him, never forget it. Praise the Lord for him. And to assistants who give a lot of praise to everything that is, was, never more to be. Islam. January 15th, 1929, the morning from the prophet. He read never reading. Everybody informed every citizen. He was seeing all radical, agitated speeches while they work in their homes on the streets. We offer peace and not destruction. Stop blasting your card to guarantee it causes confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. Failing to obey these orders will be a severe consequence. Right. We are for love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And when these principles are violated, just them takes court. And a citizen, a group of citizens, who are open village towards the government or the prophet, about the divine covenant of the Moors movement, will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the law as laid down to them by the prophet. If they lose confidence in the prophet, turning their card and button, displaying the terrorist affairs, and return to the state where the prophet found. This is a holy and divine move founded by the prophet, over Jew Ali. And if the prophet is not right, the government is not right. The prophet, therefore, is sending out the divine plea to all Moors Americans to do their part, accepting the prophet and the government. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet, to the will of Allah, and redeeming people in the sinful way by all the prophets over through our lives. The divine warning is supreme laws now, and will be enforced by the state government hereby. Islam, Islam, Islam. The year of the children of one father, radical by his spirit, and the rest of what mother has given itself. Divine affection, therefore, unites in thy brothers. The peace and happiness make way in thy father's house,
And when you separate in the world, remember the relation that binds you to love the unity. And be burned out of strangers for their own blood. If our brothers in adversity or sister, if our sisters in trouble, forsake her not. So shall the fortune of our Father to give it to the support of his holiness and his care be continued to you all, your love to each other. Islam, Islam, Islam. This means this the close, according to Act 2 of our divine constitution, and love, truth, freedom, and justice. For what peace, more, much love. This
Islam is without a schism.
That's right.
Great class. Great class. Great class.
Long live North America.
Praise be to Allah.
Love you more.
Islam, we love you, Moors. Islam, Moors, we love y'all. Praise be to Allah. Islam isn't without the schism.
You right, yes, sir.
Without the schism.
Well, all right. You know,
I'm getting paid
Islam. And we want to give honor to all our Moorish kin that checked in too on social media. They Tyrese Bay, Born Dog, Charles Royale, who True Life Lesson, Donnie, Running the White. Man, oh man, we love y'all.
Peace and love.
Peace and
We
love.
love you. We love you, Sister Grand Chief.
We love you too, Sister Anna Jean
Love you.
and the tribe.
We
Islam.
hear you.
Well, all right. See y'all in Sunday school.
Islam.
Islam.
Jezebel Bay calling all day. Listen to 'em.
All right.
All right now. Peace and love.
When you know I what you say? What was that message that you were doing, man? Well, you know I
This session is no longer being recorded.
Well, my sheep say I'm gonna learn you something. Islam. Peace and love, more. We love you.
Love, my boy.